Today I want to share with you something very interesting, which is how traveling helped me become better as a trader. I started to travel and trade in 2017. So that means it's been almost 2 years now, and I'm really glad I did that. I'm really glad I took the decision to make it happen and travel and trade at the same time. Not only do you see the world, experience different cultures, and meet cool people, but you also make a living, which is much better. And you can be in whatever temperature you are in, which I kind of love quite a lot. So of course there are challenges coming with that. That's kind of normal for everyone. But I want to talk about the good things today, things that make kind of you better as a trader while you travel. And the first thing is, I found out that traveling and trading really challenges you. It pushes you to work harder. And I've seen a lot of times where I'm not challenged, I'm not gonna work harder to fix problems. And that can be bad. Like when I'm at home and things work well for some time, you're already good and you do not have to work on making things better. You can set the same levels, still trade, do the same thing, same strategies, same ways to trade. But traveling made me realize that I had sometimes to work on different things. And I'm really glad I worked on those things. Otherwise, I would be at the same level as before. And that would have been really bad. I used to, well, of course, travel and miss a lot of trades. And if I were at home, I would have taken all the trades without thinking about it. Now, because I missed trades, because I was traveling, I had to find a way to make things work and to miss less trades. And I came up with this principle and this system to be alerted of my trade when they happen, so that I don't have to be there and watch the chart all the time, because I couldn't do it. And that helped me to miss less trades. Over time made me progress and made me move even further into a stage where I automate a lot more now in my trading than I did before. Before it was just like taking trades, being there all the time, thinking that manual trading was the best way to go. But a couple of months following that, I realized that there's a lot of ways I can automate things more, have a better life because I'm more free to do whatever I want, but still trade. And that for me is a big game changer. So I'm kind of proud I've been not complacent and work on different things because I was challenged to work on these things. So that's the very first thing. The other thing that's good, and this is the exact same thing if you have a job right now, a 9-to-5 job or like you work every day, doesn't have to be 9-to-5, but whatever. What that does is basically you cannot spend hours in front of your chart. You have to be there for a limited time. That might be an hour, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. But you cannot really do more than that. It's really hard. And that is a good thing. People think it's a bad thing, but it's a really good thing. Because it forces you to limit your time and take only the trades you're supposed to take, only the best ones. The other ones, you won't take them. So you'll be there only when you need to take trades, only you'll do the minimum you can do to be able to trade. And that is a good advantage. So back when I was working full time, the only time I could trade pretty much was at 5 p.m. when I got back home. Or like 6 p.m. when I got back home with the traffic, because traffic was pretty bad. But that was the only time I could trade. Maybe at lunchtime, but then it was pretty hard. Not really in breaks, because I didn't really have break that much. So the only way I could do is like come back home, take trades at 5 p.m. or a little bit after. And that forced me to only trade that time frame and to be good at it, to become good at that time frame. And eventually I could evolve, trade more time frame, add more. But I was able to focus on the one thing, doing this one thing all the time. And I got results with that. That was pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. And my returns were consistent and I didn't really worry about the ups and downs and the trades going to my stop loss or the trades going into profit fast. I didn't see those because I was working. I couldn't even look at the trade because my boss was there and looking at me all the time. If I was looking at the chart at my job, the boss would be pissed off. And he was a few times, but I stopped doing that. It's kind of make him happy for some time. But that's the principle, right? If you're at your job and you have limited time, like when you travel, you tend to take only the best trades and not be there to watch the ups and downs. Your mindset's better, you feel better, and that reflects into you trade better overall. So that is the second thing. Now, if you ever travel for a period of time, or travel solo perhaps, you know for a fact that you're going to come across hard times and problems and challenges that you are the only one having to solve them. That taught me something pretty interesting, which is the fact that whenever there's a problem or a challenge or something I need to fix, I'm gonna get it done and I'm gonna work on it to find a solution. And I'm gonna be all the time solution focused, as opposed to being complaining or stressed out or whatever. I'll find a way to make it work. and that you learn really well by traveling. So apply this to trading now. What happens when you have a bad time, a bad maybe trading month, a drawdown? Well, you want to find a way to make it work, and you want to find a way to solve this. And that's what I do now. Whenever something bad happens, I work on it, and I find a solution pretty fast. The best thing I've been doing, and I've been doing this a lot of times, is I sit down for a couple of hours, maybe an hour or two, with a sheet of paper. I write down my problem at the top with a question mark. So how can I solve, name the problem, question mark. And then you find a lot of ways to do this. I've done this a lot of times. Whether that was to gain capital to trade, whether that was to build a business, to find a solution to my travel problem. And I always find ways to fix problems because you train yourself to do so. You train your mind to be able to find solutions, and you write them down, and then you put an action plan to work on them, to execute them, to make them happen. Pick like the top 5 to 10 ones and act on those, okay? And that has worked really well for me. And I became the same with trading. So if there's a problem, I work on it and I fixed it. And I've been taught this mostly through travel, because staying at home won't teach you that. You won't learn this. Going to your job all the time with the same routine, the same habits, won't teach you that. But being out there, having solutions, fucking things up, will help you out over time to find solutions. And I've learned this a lot throughout the past 2 years. The last thing has to do with, like people complain that they are lonely as traders. And I kind of understand. It's a normal thing. Or you might be alone, you might feel lonely. I find it's much easier to create a relationship in person than online. Like you can talk to different traders online, but you don't really create this connection with people. And by hanging out with traders in person, by traveling, you have to travel and meet them in person in different countries, you get to create kind of deeper links and bigger connections. So I have hung out with a lot of traders in the past, whether that's going to be through interviews, just meeting them in person, having a drink, and that is really good to create a social circle around the world of people that know you and that you can connect with again when you go back, and that's a good thing. Of course, the hard part with this is that your social circle doesn't follow you when you travel, so you kind of have to make a new one all the time. That means that you won't have traders around you all the time in every country, but in most places you can meet people that trade and that you want to connect with. And then when you go back to that place, the feeling of like meeting a person you've met before again is really awesome. And seeing the places you've been to again is awesome also. Plus, I think we can learn from different cultures too. Like, people might see different things. Traders might be different in different cultures. And that's a good thing about traveling and trading. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Those are the 3 parts. Now I'm gonna go outside because it's getting really hot in the room. Here are a few comments that came from the last video. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Comment below this video to be featured in the next one. And I'll catch you guys there. Ciao.